How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray and DVD horror update. And if you've seen these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And I haven't seen a couple of them. First up from Severin Films is The Survivor. This was based on James Herbert's novel, who did The Fog, Rats, did a bunch of great horror work. And this one to me was not the greatest adaptation. I love the cover, but the film itself drags, terrible pacing issues, kind of some underdeveloped ideas as well. It just didn't fully come together. I love certain core elements that are involved, but it's an Australian movie, and one of the things it says here on the back is 747 plane crashes in Sydney. Still a spectacular sequence, which I disagree completely on, that helped make this the most expensive Australian film of its time. Holy moly, really? The plane sequence where it crashes, it just looks like it's rolling by at first. I'm just like, really? Barely? And then it just explodes. I'm like, okay, the explosions I could see, but the rest of it, it wasn't like you could see it crashing down or anything like that. It just looks like it's just rolling right by and then just explodes. But overall, it's basically where one guy, the pilot, walks away from this plane crash where like 300 people die, and they're trying to figure out why. He can't remember what happened, and so they're trying to figure everything out, and there's some spooky ghost stuff going on with a little girl who, that's really wasn't spooky at all. She just appears and then runs away, and then she's on the other side, and really? Then there's a lady in here who's a psychic, and she's trying to help, and some good special features in here. This is a nice release from Severin if you are a fan of the film. I just think it could have been so much better. There's some of the special features are actually really excellent in here, especially when they're talking about James Herbert, the legacy of, and then one of the guys who did some of the narration for like the audiobooks and stuff. So that was really cool. And so there you go. There's the special features. Love the cover. I just think it could have been a better film overall. And there's the artwork too. Disc artwork. Next up from Severin is Wild Beasts, which I haven't seen. This is a Italian animal attack movie. This sounds insane. PCP gets into the water supply of a city zoo, and then all the animals go crazy and start killing people. Tigers, lions, cheetahs, hyenas, elephants, as well as seeing eye dogs and sewer rats go berserk and rampage through the streets of Rome with actual animal attacks supervised by professional circus trainers. Wow, does that sound insane? PCP causing the animals to go insane and attack. And this one does have good special features on here, well, a good amount anyways. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out big time. I love animal attack movies. And there's the disc artwork. So I'm excited for this. It sounds just super nuts, but I'm digging it. Stakeland 2, which I saw on the Sci-Fi Channel, I want to say like 4 months ago. I'm actually surprised it took so long for it to come out on Blu-ray. And this is basically Martin Mister back again, facing the Brotherhood in the post-apocalyptic vampire scene in New Eden, which is destroyed by the Brotherhood. And there's a new vampire leader. I think her name was the Mother. And there's a tie-in with Mister and the Mother, the relationship there. There's one scene at the end of this movie where it just seemed really out of place. There's one segment with like two people. I'm like, what? Like, that's cool if you want to have that going on, but they didn't really lead up to it at all. It's just like out of nowhere. I'm like, all right, I don't know if that was some kind of joke or something, but it just seemed out of place to me. But that's just me nitpicking. Overall, I thought it was a decent sequel. The first Stakeland movie is an amazing post-apocalyptic movie, great cast, and it was pretty much too derivative is my biggest criticism. Just didn't feel like anything too new. There's a new vampire leader. Basically everything else pretty much the same. I mean, they're fighting off the vampires, and I don't know. It was decent. It wasn't excellent, but still, I'm gonna give it another rewatch too, because I do love the concept of it, and a lot of the people involved, the actors too, especially the lead guy in here who plays Mr. Nick D'Amici, I believe his name is, and then Connor Paolo as Martin is really good too. So there you go. And I think Nick D'Amici, yeah, he wrote it as well, the first Stakeland and this one. Next up from Mill Creek is Strange Things 11 movie collection. Now, this is sneaky. This is something Asylum always does. When there's a big movie hit, Asylum will create a movie with a very similar title and picture and try to trick people into buying it, thinking it's the other one, the popular one. And this is kind of the same thing with Stranger Things. Same kind of like title and same kind of look, kind of that like 80s look. But it does actually fit. I don't know, maybe they had this this mock-up for the artwork already done beforehand. I'm not sure. But this has some really good films in here. Mutant, My Mom's a Werewolf, super cheese. Pulse, Crawl is a classic. Eternal Evil, Alien Contamination, Warriors of the Wasteland, The Hearse, Lurkers, Slipstream, and Space Hunter, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. So some good films in here. I don't like when movies are stacked like this, especially DVDs. So there's 3 films in here, and they're all stacked one underneath another. And this is difficult to get out of that little thing right there. So there's another one underneath that. A swing tray wouldn't cost that much extra. That's my biggest issue with Mill Creek. They've got some great budget titles, but just put in an extra couple pennies for the packaging. Like some of their box sets are just, the way that they're packaged are terrible. Like the Heathcliff set, the Sliders set, so many sets like that. But yeah, this could have been better with the swing tray. Would have been a lot better. But yeah, this is still a good set for the movies that you get in there. Next up from Camp Motion Pictures is Easter Sunday. Holy moly, just seeing this cover has me hooked. I'm expecting tons of horror cheese with this one. This year everyone will get executed. That's hilarious. I guess there's a killer in a bunny suit. And this one right here has Ari Lemon from the first Friday the 13th is in here. And Robert Zadar, there you go, who recently passed away. There he is. He's in here. So couple good cast members I'm looking forward to seeing. But yeah, I'm expecting just super horror cheese. 24 years since deranged serial killer Douglas Fisher was executed by police on Easter night. Now, I guess somebody's coming back as the bunny mask killer, the spirit. Somebody, I guess some teens accidentally conjured his spirit up. So yeah, that cover though is classic. I love that cover. Next up is The Quiet Hour. Now this is more sci-fi than horror, but I'm putting it in here as this horror update. This is just a drab, dull movie I could not recommend in any way. I believe they're in Scotland in here, but basically there's like this big, you can see them in the sky, these big like mechanical, like almost like tentacle looking things coming down, and these little like ships come out and they're drilling holes. And the way that this ends is just garbage. It's just like a cop-out ending that I feel like they just didn't know what to do, and that's how it happened. But again, it's basically a post-apocalyptic storyline where a ton of people, a good part of the population is killed, and then the rest are kind of scavenging and cannibals. So again, in any kind of apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic event, man is usually man's worst enemy instead of the aliens or whatever kind of other event that they're dealing with. So it's this girl right here, and then her rather blind brother trying to survive in their abandoned house, and then they come across this guy who's they think is a military guy, and then some other people are hunting him down, and they turn out to be cannibals, and they have to fight to survive against them and not get killed by the aliens as well. And I guess seeing the aliens, you know, was out of the budget because you never see the aliens. You just see some like CG. You see like the ship or part of the ship, or part of the drone ships that fly back into the big mothership tentacle things. Yeah, this was just extremely dull, lifeless, forgettable. I could not recommend this at all. This was from Monarch Home Video. It's a sci-fi thriller. There's more sci-fi drama elements going on here. Very disappointing. So there you go. Those are my 6 pickups right here, Blu-rays and DVDs for this horror update. Again, if you've seen them, definitely let me know what you think of them. Leave me a comment or video response down below. And once I see the ones that I haven't checked out, I will do a proper update going a little bit more in depth about them. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.